There's no orb opening event. We got some hot rumors about some characters potentially coming in the next patch, real-time arena, Jubilee, and a lot more on your Marvel Strike Force Weekly News Update this week. I am joined by my brother, Tony Scungili, and if you're ready for all of that, my brother, Tony, tell him what to do, man!
Open your orbs, I guess.
ValleyFlyin.
What is up, Valley Maniacs? I am ValleyFlyin. Welcome back to the ValleyFlyin channel and your Marvel Strike Force Weekly News Update. I am joined by my brother Tony Scungili, and we're going to talk about all of the hot topics in Marvel Strike Force over the past week or so. No orb opening event. There are rumors that we're going to discuss at the end. We're talking about real-time arena, Red Guardian, Yelena, and a lot more. Tony, how are you, my friend? How have you been? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, my friend. I've been doing excellent. How have you been?
I've been good. I like your hat, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
All right, so here we are in the game. All of these crazy amount of orbs to open, but it looks like if we open this is not going to have us hit any milestones. It was made public yesterday on the Envoy server, but we were asked to share this with our audiences that no orb opening event. The stance is this, basically from Scopely. There's no orb opening event planned, nor do we currently have plans to run one similar to the Orb Avalanche again. Does this make you happy that you could open your orbs, or does this kind of disappoint you that all the orbs that people have potentially been saving, not any benefit from saving all those orbs?
Two different things, right? Like the first thing is whether or not you believe that they had no plans to run an event that they've run 3 or 4 times previously, almost like clockwork every 6 months, or whether they just decided to abandon the event because whatever reasons. Now, it is what it is. Again, those events weren't great, you know, like those events weren't like, oh my God, if you don't have them, you're going to lose out. They were just kind of ways to help or enforce the idea that people should be opening their orbs. And some people say, like, you have 2,000 orbs, I have like 1,200 orbs. At the end of the day, if an orb has something that is useful to you now, or could be like a purple gear raid orb because you're working on characters, or gamma orbs or alpha orbs because you're, you know, like haven't maxed out characters, premium orbs because all your characters are 7-star, which is the only reason I wouldn't open premium orbs, you know, then it makes sense to save them. It really does. But like, if there's something inside the orb, like you and I live in a glass tower, you know, where like resources aren't that hard to come by for us because we're just at that point in the game. There are some, like there's always bottlenecks, but like, how many purple gear, you know, purple ability materials do you have? Like 40,000 or something? You know what I mean?
A lot. So many I don't even know.
Like some resources just become like superfluous for us. So it's one thing to be like, we're not going to have this event, or I'm going to save orbs for a potential event, which kind of took us all by surprise. I think, like at least the content creator. We're just like, no, that's crazy that they're not going to have it. But it's another thing if you were like sitting on orbs and that are actively hurting your progression as a character or as a player in the game, because you expect some kind of event that almost at this point could never have been as good as the time. So if you've been saving orbs for like a month, 2 months, open some. Like it's fine. Like even if they don't do the event, because at this point they asked the community to share this, and you know, historically they've never told a content creator something and gone back on it.
This was a long message that he wrote in the Envoy server, and I just shared a part of it, but they had a couple things, and one of the bottom parts of the message said, don't copy and paste this, but share this with your community. So I didn't read the whole thing, but they're saying one of the first reasons that they stopped doing these, or want to stop doing these events, it's causing players anxiety. It's frustrating for many. Second, hoarding orbs isn't something they want players to anticipate, and it's not a way to be playing effectively. And third, it's orb hoarding is not equitable for newer players. You know, so someone like yourself and myself, we've been playing for a while. We have a lot of resources, like you said, and but if a newer player is hoarding orbs for a potential event, that's really hurting them, because the newer you are, the more valuable these premium orbs, these gear orbs, all these other things are for a newer player. So that was kind of their reasoning behind it. Any other thoughts on this? I mean, are you going to open all of your orbs now?
No, I'm just gonna open the. I'm gonna do the same thing I've always done, which is open orbs as I need to. Like I have a bank of gold orbs, you know, and I open the gold orbs when I run out of gold. I don't open them to see a big number. I just like, oh, I need like 1 million gold. All right, I'll open 5 gold orbs. Same thing. Like, oh, I don't have enough purple gear or blue gear. I'll just open those until they come up. I'm gonna keep opening orbs, but like, I've told many people, like, learn to love the red dot. The red dot is your friend in this game. And while I might have some opinions on the words you just used or the way that they phrased it, like we don't want, like it sounds a lot like corporate speak for where they're not, like people hoarding orbs aren't making us money, but like I don't want to go into that, you know. I'm not interested. So I understand it that those events, like I said, were never to be amazing to begin with, but just like hoarding gold orbs for a milestone character so that when the Emma event or whoever the next milestone character comes out, you know, like you're prepared. I think that the solution to this anxiety that it caused players was to tell players, like, instead of doing that, you know, there's this weird thing you could do called communicate, where you could be like, hey, in June and December of every year, we're going to do orb opening events. So if you'd like to save, you're welcome to. This way, you're putting it on the player. So even a newer player understands that they might not save orbs for 9 months in anticipation of some god tier event that may be coming around, which they never were. But at least within a month or so of December, they'd be like, oh, cool. Okay, let's check it out. But that's, you know, that's if you were developing a game properly or something. That's not.
Oh my goodness. But anyway, so yes, no orb opening event, guys. So if you want to open, you can. If you don't want to open and just save and open as needed, then that is something that is good as well. Also this week, or this past week, we got another Blitz for a new Blitz release character, Yelena Blitz, and scores were pretty much in line with where the past long shot Blitzes were. The Yellow Jacket came out a little bit over 32 million. What do you see happening for the second iteration of this Yelena event when it comes back tomorrow, actually?
Well, like historically, Blitz events do taper off, but we still have the milestone, you know, the Red Guardian event going. Yeah. So it's always hard to kind of make a prediction when it comes to top level. Now, some people are just grinding the milestone, so they're dropping down to the lowest possible tiers they can, and they're just trying to get the free wins, to get the free orbs, to get the character. And that's a reasonable way to do it. Other players are like, well, I want both, you know, so they're going super hard in the paint when it comes to getting like 8-3 and 8-0 wins with their Blitz team, so they can both get good Yelena shards or whatever. I think that any new character is always going to be a higher impact Blitz than a lesser character, just in general. Like Rocket Raccoon Blitz, you can see that the top Rocket Raccoon Blitz was barely anything. Not very high. You know, so like it's always going to be something, but like I think we've seen enough of Yelena and also like most of the characters in this patch that like, yeah, people are going to Blitz really hard for characters. It just kind of goes to show that like they are done with Blitz. You know, like they're just like, this is Blitz now, take it or leave it. Like we're not making changes again. We're not like, this is it. This is the world we live in now. So if you have a problem with Blitz, you know, yell into the void, because they're not doing anything else about it. They gave us Blitz Sim as the shut up about it kind of things.
Well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about Blitz Sim, because that was another topic that came up on the Valley Club this morning on live stream. You know, I like Blitz Sim. It's saving a lot of time. But the downside of that is some players that were able to grind, really get some big scores, get these new character release, we're still able to do that without this auto Blitz. And some of these players that don't have the larger collection power on their roster aren't as big of fans as Blitz Sim as I am. So where do you stand on this?
This is like an omelets eggs analogy, you know, like nobody can ever, you can't always make everybody happy. Yeah. So you have to look at what benefits everybody to some extent. And I would argue that taking a Blitz rotation from 40 minutes to 2 minutes helps everybody, like period. Yeah. It helps absolutely everybody. The rest of it is the market correcting itself. So the fact that you can only Blitz 24 times over the course of a Blitz, because it's 8 times a day and it starts at game restart, 24 times without using cores or charges or anything like that, that's the cap that they've put on this game mode. which made sense before to prevent botting. But now with this going on, it makes a little bit less sense, kind of. There's also another thing, like right now, Blitz is designed to reward high TCPs. In the past, it could reward high TCPs, but generally speaking, people with higher TCPs didn't try as hard. So there were more people to get into these top brackets. And I do still think they're rewarding more players in Blitz than they ever had. And I think that the rewards are better than they ever were. At the end of the day, it comes down to all of the people who were milestone and chill are now faster milestone and chill. And some of the people who were consistently putting up really high numbers and unlocking higher versions of characters or better stars on characters are falling short of that. And that's where the lines are drawn. You know, that's it. That's where the lines are drawn in the sand. Overall, I still think the changes are positive. But I do think that the problem now we face is stuff like, you know how we see the red Guardian milestone, and it's like for a simmed fight you get 8 points, but for a regular fight you get 12. It's like, come on, guys, come on. I'm not spending triple or quadruple the amount of time to get 4 more points. Like, if you're gonna play that game with the numbers, it also has to make sense. Like, oh, you won a Blitz fight with these characters on sim, 8 points. Oh, you actually did the fight, 20 points. You know, make the difference enough that like I'm gonna actually consider wasting my time doing an actual Blitz fight as opposed to hitting sim.
So let's talk about that. The Blitz scoring, we have different points, like you said, for winning with Blitz sim, winning with a normal battle. Where you mentioned there should be a bigger difference. Where do you think that difference should lie? You feel it should be like 20 points when you're doing a normal battle and about 8 with a sim? Or do you feel it should be a bigger difference or like where it is?
If in a perfect world, I don't think there should be a difference. You know, like I think that like winning a Blitz is the same as winning a Blitz. Winning a Blitz with sim characters is like it shouldn't be a difference. If you're going to make it a difference, it has to be a rewarding difference. It has to be, and rewards always are commensurate with effort. So if it takes me 3 seconds to win a Blitz sim, but it takes me 3 minutes to win an actual fight, well, obviously it's 100, you know, or not 100, it's like 50 or 60 times the amount of effort or time I have to spend doing it. You're not going to give me 50 or 60 times the points. I understand that, but it needs to be something more if you're going to do that. For me, one of the issues I've noticed now with Blitz being the way it is they're designing the things that require you to Blitz around the new world order of Blitz and not around the old one. So even though back in the day, you might have had to Blitz a lot to get something done, now you literally don't have an opportunity to miss out. You are probably going to have to Blitz 5 or 6 times a day, which on paper only takes 3 minutes. It's not that big of a deal, right? Like who cares? That's 15 minutes of play, but it's not 15 minutes of gameplay. It's 15 minutes divided over 10 hours of gameplay, and that becomes its own kind of prison of gaming where you have to log in at specific times. So again, I think the Blitz changes overall were positive, but as with most things, I think they kind of swung and missed. And then now that they're developing game modes with the changes to Blitz and the changes to like factoring in Blitz sim, it just feels like it's going to end up hurting players that previously were doing well in an event, as opposed to making other players more easily able to access the event, if that makes sense.
It does. But do you like this release method for new characters that we got with Red Guardian? Because I feel that they did this with Anti-Venom. It was a horrible release method. It made me hate Blitz. But with Blitz Sim, I'm not minding it as much for Red Guardian. Do you like this as a release method? Or would you want to see even more changes for this if they keep using this as a release method in the future?
If this stayed the same, I wouldn't have too many problems with it. I have like criticisms, but I don't have any problems. Does that make sense? Like there's no, but yeah, I wish the deep freeze orbs were more reliable when they dropped character shards for him, you know, but that's a criticism. That's not a complaint really. Yeah. You know, obviously the season characters and raids is weird, but like not terrible. Like another criticism is maybe open the character pool, because it's not a campaign, you know, it's a raid. Maybe you want to open these kind of tags way higher than previous like name tags, because raids are harder. And again, you want people to be able to unlock the characters, and then you want people who are willing to put the time or the effort, or have already put the time and effort or money in, to be able to get more and more access. I have a 3.5-star Red Guardian from this event so far, because I didn't buy him because I'm not really interested in any of the characters that they released in December, except Iceman. So I didn't buy him, but I have a 3.5-star. I'll get to 4 by the time this event ends, you know, and then that's it. Do I need a 7-star Red Guardian? I don't care. He's like,
yeah, well,
sure.
Well, he's not working properly right now, as we saw from Twitter. Is special Iron Curtain not properly healing, only at levels 3, 4, and 5 though. Levels 6 and 7 seem to be unaffected, and I guess 1 and 2 aren't affected either, if he even has healing at those levels. There should be a fix coming later today. How considering that this is only levels 3, 4, 5 that is affected, how many people do you think is affected by this bug?
12
people. Well,
12 or 13 people.
Well, all 12 of you guys, the fix should be coming later today.
Like this is like the hey, we're gonna fix this obscure bug on a character that only works on underinvested characters. But when you go into RTA, you're still not gonna be able to know which buffs characters have, because they'll show up even though they don't have it. Cool. Thanks, guys.
Yes, it's being fixed though. Awesome stuff. Also, not just the Red Guardian milestones, we also got Emma coming back to the milestones. I was waiting for this for a while. Help me get it to 6 stars for Emma. How many shards are you hoping for during the course of this Emma milestone event?
My goal was to get somewhere between 150 and 200.
Okay.
Or end at somewhere between 150 and 200, because I'm at 6-star.
Okay.
I'm going to 7, and I really just didn't want to like struggle for a 7-star Emma, because she's good. She's like the best character in the game. Like I want her at 7, but I don't want to do the work for it because I'm lazy. So I just like to get her close enough that eventually I'll buy my way up to more Emma shards. You know, like close enough that it's reasonable. Same thing. I did the same thing with Symbiote Spider-Man. My Symbiote Spider-Man is like 7-star, 100 shards. And like, you know, over time he's gotten more and more and more towards it. Not as many as I'd like, but like I like these milestone characters. Everyone except Coulson. I hated Coulson, but they've all been good, and I think that striving for a 6-star version of them is kind of the goal. So when we see whoever the next milestone character is, Rogue, then I think that like it might be like
I don't know. There may be something else coming in rumors. Maybe. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. Stay tuned, guys. All right, but in addition to the cool milestone characters, we got Emma Frost, Red Guardian. We also got some changes to your favorite mode, and most of the community's favorite mode, real-time arena objectives, switching them from random origins to from these knockouts here, and switching up some of the values of some of the rewards that we get. Does this make this better or worse for players? Are you finding that you're having to grind more with these new objectives in season 2?
So you asked better or worse? The answer is yes. The answer to that question is yes. It makes it better and it makes it worse. And it comes down to why you care about RTA. I think, like I've been very vocal about it, I think RTA is a phenomenal game mode. I think I don't call it the battle pass because it's a lie. It's not a battle pass. I call it the sparkly mojo pass because it makes you feel sparkly when you buy it. So there's the sparkly mojo pass and there's the RTA, and both of them independently are awesome. But the fact that they are together is like anti-synergy. Like instead of a zipper, everything filling in, it's more like, like they don't work well together, because you have a group of people who are entering the game mode with the intent of playing to win, like for funsies. And that's kind of why you play a game mode. Like it's PvP, play to win, right?
Yes.
But then you have the majority of people who are like, no, but there are rewards that I need to obtain in order to gain growth, whether it be the free Mojo Pass rewards or the paid Mojo Pass rewards. Like there are these things that players are trying to accomplish. And to be fair, that's what you need to do. It's the reason why everybody right now during the milestone isn't really losing or gaining arena ranks because most people are using seasoned characters to get the points. It's the same reason a lot of alliances, I don't know if yours is, but mine is, are doing lesser versions of raids. Like, oh, I'm doing Ultimate 7.3 instead of .5 because it's easy for us to use like seasoned characters, 3 symbiotes plus like Emma and Yo-Yo or something like that in that than it is in .5. So like we're trying to get more points by doing less efficient things because the points are limited and worth more. This is a weekly limited event, so more people are always going to lean on, like, for example, I had to do 600 fights with skill. Well, guess what? So Fury, Shield plus Killmonger, it's your time to shine, like go in, click auto. And there's a lot of fights I'm going to get 5 or 6 attacks in, and then there's some fights where I'm going to go up against the Black Order that's poorly invested in, and I'm just going to get like mollywopped. And that I can't feel bad about that guy. Like that guy's going into PvP to play the PvP mode. I'm going into PvP to play the Mojo Pass mode. So as long as these two things exist, I fear, like when I talk about the changes, I did an entire video on them. I don't like them because they took away the easiest method for players to auto and get points, which was knockouts. But they did balance the rewards. So it's okay that they balanced the rewards, but knockouts were easy to get, especially because the entire community could just use Phoenix and 4 nerds and always get 5 knockouts.
Yeah.
Just go, and it was quick too. It was like 20 seconds done. It was a way the entire community can get past that. I fear for the events and the season. They have to do something before this because God help them if the event is like win based or like, getting points for using specific characters, and the community now just sits there in RTA and they're like, well, I want to do my Mojo Pass stuff. I don't really think I can do anything in the event. And a bunch of people are doing stuff in the event and they're like, well, people are quitting all the time, or, like I'm getting beaten because I can't accomplish the tasks of the event. Like they have to do something to separate them. And I think the first step is maybe take a real long look at the Mojo Pass and maybe take a good chunk of the arena stuff out of it and apply it to stuff like raids and blitz and other game modes that are accessible. Make it a true battle pass. That's something I think they might have an idea that I've never thought of, but that's what I'm thinking on this.
Oh yeah, that was a big request from some members of the community to make it tied to other game modes, not just this real-time arena. So hopefully in future seasons we'll have that tied to other game modes. But I don't know. I'm not sure what they're gonna end up doing. They may just leave it like this. But speaking of this next season, brother, we got Yellow Jacket as the next real-time arena character. How do you feel about his selection? Yeah, especially considering that he is part of the team that's going to require to unlock our next legendary character.
Yellow Jacket's great. Like, he's a good character. I'm a huge fan of him. I think he's a great character on his own. I think that it's nice. I like the idea of real-time arena being, able to get a decent amount of shards. Like, I have, like I said, the Mojo Pass, I have a love-hate relationship with it. I love that it's resources that you get for completing stuff. I love that.
Yeah.
Like, I love giving me more things to do to grow more. That's something I enjoy in the game. But like, just like with Zemo before, like, I don't think it matters too much, Granted, basically anybody for free who doesn't have a Yellow Jacket is now going to get a Yellow Jacket, right? If you can complete the 100, you can get a 45 shard, and I believe he's a 45 shard unlock. So great, you'll have access to a Yellow Jacket going forward. But it just feels like maybe characters is not the way to sell the Mojo Pass. I don't really care for the character shard. I know some people do. To me, it's not. I don't mean sell like money. I mean like sell like convince me it's worth value or worth anything. Worth doing. Yeah. I like the items, like the gear, and I would like more like Red Star promotion credits, more Red Star orb stuff. I would like to see that. Now, I'm not gonna be mad they gave us character access, but I'm afraid that they're gonna lean a little bit heavier on RTA. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw like Beast or Electro end up in RTA in one of the coming months in lieu of farmability. So if they intend on using the battle pass as a bridge point between a character being farmable and a character being released, that's reasonable to me. As long as that's not like Zemo, 6-8 Beast 9 months later, that kind of thing. But it's not terrible.
You mentioned Beast. I was actually expecting Beast instead of Yellow Jacket. So
I was expecting Beast here.
All right. Well, it looks like Yellow Jacket is not totally useless because he will be part of a legendary team or a team that unlocks the next legendary character, Argal, the legendary Jubilee. And we got that announcement. Pym Tech is the team to announce. So Yellow Jacket is required for the Astonishing X-Men to complete that team. Was this something that you were expecting? I know there's been rumors of Pym Tech unlocking the next legendary character for a while. Then they kind of died down. Or were you still expecting Pym Tech for this legendary unlock though?
It took me by complete shock. No, I had no idea.
No.
I'm being sarcastic.
I could tell.
I'm being sarcastic.
You never diverged from the Pym Tech unlock.
It was Pym Tech was going to unlock a legendary since before they chose the name Pym Tech, since its original name was Quantum. It was always going to happen. The idea, like, this is the best way now you can actually find out who knows what they're talking about and who doesn't, because there are people who are speculating, which is fine. It's always fun to speculate. And then there are people who are sure of something. If someone was sure that it was Skilletary, well, that person's no longer worth listening to anymore, are they?
I guess not. And in addition to getting her unlock method, though, we also got some information about her passive. Now, we saw Kitty Pryde's passive in a previous blog post that when Jubilee's on the field, she's going to get more healing. But I'm looking at this passive. My first reaction was every single one of these things that her passive does is tied to Astonishing X-Men, which means that next legendary character, at least her passive, does not do anything if she's not on her team. Is this good or bad, do you think?
Obviously, I want the legendary character to be good on their team.
Yes.
But I also would kind of appreciate if the legendary character was good a little bit outside their team. And so far, we've seen two abilities, her passive and her special, and both of them require the presence of Astonishing X-Men.
Seems weird,
so that
right?
means that her basic better blind and her ultimate better Nuka character. You know what I mean? Like,
and have low cooldowns.
She needs to have something that like Doc Ock is what I like to call one of the best bridging legendaries in the game, because early game you could skip Doc Ock forever. You never need him. Like, he's not a high priority. But late game, he is like the most fun character to add to any team because he just does silly things all the time. So like, I have 100k Doc Ock now. I think the last time I was here I had a 70k Doc Ock. But like, I worked on him. I was like, what? This guy's insane. But he's not like, you wouldn't like build a church on him. You wouldn't be like, this is my arena team and Doc Ock is here. You wouldn't be like, oh, my entire U7 team is built around Doc Ock. Like, he's just a good character. And it's always hard to express, like, is Doc Ock good? Oh yeah, he's phenomenal. But don't like go out of your way for him. Like, but he's phenomenal. Yeah, like extra phenomenal. He's like getting, like, you wouldn't just eat a handful of sprinkles, but you would totally put it on top of your ice cream, unless you would eat a handful of sprinkles, and then I support you.
Well, so do you think she's gonna have more use, Jubilee that is, than Doc Ock, or is she just more for later game players that are gonna fully develop this Astonishing X-Men team?
I've heard a little bit of whispers, and other content creators are also under the same idea, that there's a non-zero chance that the Astonishing X-Men are very similar to the what is that? The Inhumans, in that they might be necessary to do something in the future, but I don't know. Call it the cynic in me. I don't think they would release another raid team with a ton of raid tags unless there was a planned necessity for them. Whether it be, U8 / Doom Raid 1, whatever you want to guess, or some change to Alpha, Beta, Gamma, some new Delta Raid. I like, there's no way that after we've proven that the Symbiotes are like hands down one of the best raid teams that they've ever made, ever. It's just really hard to imagine them also being like, but look at this raid team with the legendary, and not having some reason to need them.
That's why it was so confusing. Well, another raid viable team is just, that was my, where are we going to use these guys? The Symbiotes already dominate U7.5. Is this for some of these new Greek raids, and they do Greek raid slatters? But even that doesn't have a lot of lanes just for X-Men. I know there's a couple Greek raids that have X-Men in there, but most of them, I'm not sure where the viability, but maybe it's like you said, other things coming up, U8 or something like that.
Yeah, I'm guessing that I will regret not having them. You know what I mean? And I just mean having them. I don't necessarily mean having like a maxed out version of them, but like I'm guessing that I'd rather have the team to work on than not have them. So I'm gonna make that decision and maybe buy 1 or 2 of the characters as they go on.
Buy Pym Tech. But we mentioned Doc Ock when talking about Jubilee, and his event just came back, which meant I got another star on him. I'm sure a lot of the people in the community got another star on him. How excited were you for this Doc Ock event? You mentioned you've seen a pretty significant jump in your collection power for Doc Ock.
I love him. First of all, I love his bowl cut. I love his stupid glasses. I love the fact that he's pulling off that stupid leather trench suit. It's not even a suit. Like, I love how his arms are just mad at you. Like, he's just like one of my favorite like models of a character. I like what he does. I like that design perspective of, what if we just made cool characters? You know, not characters you absolutely positively have to have and have to use. I imagine, if you will, like a world where the people who spend a ton of money or have been playing for a long time and are capable of doing this, like getting high scores in Blitz, get access to characters that are like good, right? But are not necessary. Like, you can go through in the entire game without Doc Ock and be fine. Not even for war. He's good in war. You could use him on offense or defense. You can use him in raids. You can use him in Dark Dimension. You can use him anywhere. But in none of those is he the best thing you could do. And that's something I was like, well, that's a reward in and of itself. Let the players who are interested in playing end game content have access to end game content characters, and let the players who are not, or middle, somewhere in the beginning, middle, late game tier, but not quite the end game, they don't have to stop what they're doing and factor in the Doc Ock legendary as somebody that's like, oh, we need to get it. Like, that's good game design. Like, I spend enough time making fun of them. It's good game design to introduce characters that like help you, but aren't required or almost mandatory for you to progress. And I think this is one of them, as opposed to like Maw, where everybody and their mother is going to need Maw eventually just to complete the Black Order, regardless of what happens in the future, because eventually unlocking the Black Order team will be relevant in like Arena and stuff like that, and War, just to have, you know?
Yeah. Well, where do you see Doc Ock fitting in the meta? I know you said he's not really required for anything. You could use him in a lot of game modes. There's people that do things better than he does. So how hard should newer players that don't really have their X-Force built up enough to, how hard should they be pushing to get Doc Ock when he comes back on his next iteration?
Well, Doc Ock's a win-win, right? Because the X-Force is probably one of the best war attack teams in the game. So, like, in essence, what you're doing, you're not even working towards Doc Ock. Like, the reason you're working the Sinister Six up is to unlock like Shuri or IW. The reason you're working the Marauders, not the Marauders, the Brotherhood or the X-Men up is to unlock a character, or, you know, depending on the X-Men. The reason you're working Villain Mystic Controllers up is to get Phoenix. Like, you're working the X-Force up because you want the X-Force. So the reward for having a strong X-Force is you get a legendary character that's pretty cool. So
sounds good.
Do I think it's a priority? No, but like, if you're at the point in the game where you need more war offense teams and more reliable war offense teams, you don't get much better than X-Force. You do, but most of them have legendaries. And X-Force is just a really great team to have. They beat a lot of the meta, and that's it. I think Doc Ock is a character you come by. I think he's very similar to how Nick Fury is right now. I know it sounds crazy. It's like you don't go out of your way for him, but when you look across the, your roster and be like, oh, I can get Nick Fury, cool. You just go pick up Nick Fury. Like, eventually your actions will lead to Doc Ock, but I don't think he's someone you have to prioritize. That's just where you are.
Got it. Yeah, but yeah, like you said though, unlike Nick Fury, you got a good team that unlocks Doc Ock with that X-Force. Those Kree minions still not very good. But moving on, we got information about another astonishing X-Men character coming as soon as I find it. Here it is, Kitty Pryde coming to the game. Now we saw her full kit in a blog post a while ago, but the big thing here, Into the Shadow Blitz featuring Kitty Pryde. So we're probably getting the second Yelena today, and then we're probably getting the Kitty Pryde, 2 back-to-back Kitty Prydes next week and the week after. Does this make you excited that she's gonna be a Blitz release character, potentially giving you a chance to get a lot of shards for her? And then we still don't know about Iceman. So how does this news make you feel that she's a Blitz release?
First of all, great. Answer your question. Great. I love it. In my mind, there's 3 different releases that should happen, right? All characters that are 45 shard unlock should be Blitz releases. What that does is that gives every player in the game the opportunity to unlock them with very little effort, because it's 21 shards to complete the milestones on both Blitzes.
Yeah.
And then you unlock the character. A 2-star character isn't much, but it's having the character. And I think just having the character is enough to keep the community like, oh, cool, I have the Shuri. I can't wait. Or not Shuri, sorry, Kitty. I can't wait to get more. I think that every campaign should be a 3-star character in general. And I think that milestone characters can be 3 or more depending on what it is. So like, I like the idea of lower star unlock characters being Blitz characters. I do. It's just easy to unlock them. Now, if you want to talk about getting 3, 4, 5 star, well, that's a issue with Blitz, not an issue with that. So I'm excited for Kitty because I know I'm going to get at least 100 or so shards from blitzing for her, probably way more, probably closer to like 220. But that's me. And I know more people are like, well, I'm just going to get Kitty. And that's enough reason to be like, well, if you think this team is going to be good, or if you care, or if you just like the character, maybe I'll spend $25 to unlock her on day 1, or $50 to get as many shards as possible. So I'm cool with 45 character shards, and I'm cool with her being one of them and a Blitz release.
All right, well, next question that this leads to, what do you think is the release method for Iceman? Because we have Yelena as a Blitz release character, we have Kitty as a Blitz release character, we had Red Guardian as an event release character. Do you think that Iceman may be another event similar to this Red Guardian, or some other new release method that they might introduce?
No, but not because it wouldn't be awesome, because I don't think they put that much work into it.
What do you think?
He's just going to be a Blitz.
Another Blitz.
I would be shocked if he wasn't a Blitz character.
It's for me, Blitz seems like a simple release, but if we're looking at dates, we got the 14th, we have Yelena. That means Kitty Pryde's gonna be the 21st and the 28th. That means if Iceman gets released, that's the Blitz on the 4th and the 11th of February. I'm wondering if timing wise that is,
well, let's see what's the other option, right? I'm totally fine being wrong. Like, this is just what I think. Like,
this is all speculation. We don't know. We're just guessing.
Like, I have no idea. I would prefer to be wrong. I would prefer if Iceman had an event similar to this. And I know I'm not going to gain any friends for saying it, but I like this Red Guardian milestone. I would prefer if he had an event similar to this. But like, we knew that this December patch was going to go long. We know that they mentioned, or there's a rumor that the next patch doesn't have a lot of characters. There's also a rumor that it does. So we'll see which one of those rumors is right. But there's something in the line. Like, I don't want a 100 character Butcher. I don't want it. Yeah. I'd just be shocked. I think what they're doing now is they're going to try to do more longer patches, because I don't know if you noticed this entire patch, there hasn't been many broken things. There's been some, but I think they're like, wait, we could just release a really long patch and not get yelled at every time we make some mistake. We'll just make all mistakes at the beginning of the patch and then let everyone be mad and then forget about it before the next patch.
New trends for 2021. I like it.
Yeah, right. It's 2021 now, guys. You can't be mad at us.
Yeah. We haven't broke the game totally at all this year. There's been bugs, but I don't think the games are totally broken.
We haven't had critical failure yet.
More mercs, more payday, more gold. Do these paydays when they come back, does that even incite you, or are these more for newer and more mid-game players that need more gold?
Unpopular opinion, I'm happy with the amount of gold I'm making. Now I'm not saying everyone should be, but like I don't really run out. Granted, as everyone who watches me knows, like I'm conservative as hell with my resources. Like I will, Tony, how many gold orbs do you have? Like, I don't know, 80, like whatever. I just don't want to open them. You know, like, but when let me use an example. Every single time I unlock a character, every single time, doesn't matter. That character goes from unlock to level 65, gear tier 10, 6664. The day, within a day or two, depending on if there's a milestone that I want to save the gold for. You know what I mean? The day. So I can do that, which is like 95% of what I'm spending gold on is making sure I have access to a new character. The rest of it is bringing characters up, to my level. And again, a lot of this comes from me being where I am, and I know this isn't the experience a lot of people will have, but oh, look, I have like half my roster at 78, or half the roster that I use. Obviously, we're not talking about like characters like Bullseye. Like, no, he's down in the dumpster where he belongs.
Yeah.
But this event, I like it's good. Like the fact that we get it once a month is good. The fact that we are getting more gold now than we ever were is good. Yes. I still think it's time that they increase the amount of gold in gold orbs just a little, like bring it to an even 200,000 minimum. But other than that, like we get more gold from the ISO campaign. All of these random event orbs we keep getting for random stuff just happen to have gold in them. It's not a lot, but it adds up over time. So I think I don't think we get more gold. I think we get more access to get gold. And as a result of it, most people see more gold than they previously did. So I think that there's still a gold bottleneck, but I think they've been doing stuff without actively saying we're increasing the gold and that increases the overall amount of gold the player gets. So I think Payday is a great event. I would love to see additional, steps on it, which you could just do by making the challenges harder. Like, I get it. The 7 stars is the cap, but go to 8 and then be like, you have to be 8.
So tier 8, tier 9. More. Got it. That does make a lot of sense. I would like to see
more on all of them. Because 800,000 times 3 is 2.4 million, and 2.4 million isn't a lot of gold at endgame because that's one character from 75 to like 78 or something. You can't even get him to 80.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like that's where you're gonna have to be as an endgame character. You're gonna have to be racing to it. So I don't think it's enough. Like just add another tier and bring that one to a million gold a win. And it doesn't seem like much, but it adds up.
Yeah, I like it. That's a good idea. I am level 79 as we're speaking, which means I am not in Dark Dimension yet. Where are you? How are you doing in Dark Dimension? Are you pushing hard for this? Are you letting it go and just taking it as it comes? What are you doing with Dark Dimension 4 right now?
When Dark Dimension 4 was announced, I had made a statement to my community that I intended on being in it in March.
Okay. Is that still...
Yeah, I'm on pace for it. I'm on pace for it. Okay. But I didn't want to rush it. And for the couple reasons, I remember DD2 and I remember watching what happened. I remember watching the people who beat DD2 really quickly and being like, all those teams are mediocre at best. And then I was the 1,006th person to unlock Ultron. And I had spent literally no money to do it. Like no money towards it. Like I refreshed with cores that I earned. Purchases. Yeah, outside of like normal what I was doing. I didn't buy a character. And because of that, I was able to access like I had a Minerva. I had used Star Wars at the time. I think Juggernaut and Sabretooth were 2 of my characters in Dark Dimension because I figured out
Juggernaut was one of mine too.
Yeah, right. Because Sabretooth cost nothing, and Juggernaut was like amazing at the time. So like. It was about figuring out not just how to do it. Like all praise to the people who were willing to spend tens of thousands of dollars to do this as quickly as they did. Like power to them. it's awesome. Like, I mean that truly. Like, that's awesome that you were able to do it. Like, congratulations. I'm not going to. Okay. I don't want, if I could help it, I don't want to spend $100 to do it. Like, I don't want to spend the money on this. I have other stuff to spend money on, like Genshin Impact. So like, I don't want to do that. So instead, I'm just going to take my time, wait to accrue the gear, of which I've accrued a great deal of gear tier 15 gear so far. Gotcha. Wait to hit 80 so that when I hit 80, I'm not sitting there waiting to get gear, but I can probably start the first 3 to 6 nodes of Dark Dimension. That's been my goal for March. Now I'm level 78.
Okay.
You know, and that's going to be another month or so of leveling to get there. But now I might start buying enough energy because, like I said, going slow and waiting to see how to get stuff has given me stuff. I have enough gear now to bring up some global characters that I've been looking towards. So for me, it's it. And that's honestly what I would advise anybody who's not a content creator to do. Like, getting to Doom and getting into Dark Dimension 4 might seem like it's the most important thing, but it's not. It's just the only thing. Like, it's the only thing to do right now. Yeah. Just like Dark Dimension 3 was the only thing to strive for. Just like they probably need to be releasing Dark Dimensions bi-yearly or biannually or semi-annually. I always forget the difference between those.
I think two per year seem.
Yeah, which one's 2 per year and which one's every 2 years? Whatever.
I think it's biannually. I think that's
it's one of them.
Let me know in the comments if that's wrong, though.
Yeah, well, we're not going to learn from it, but we do want to know if you know. Yeah. I want to know. Like, I want to be like, oh yeah, no, this is a new thing, because it keeps the ever-changing goalposts from like, oh, I'm just bored now. And that's the worst thing that happens, is you get to a point where you're bored. So like, I like the idea of having Dark Dimension 4, but I like, we've seen some Doom. He's not as good as maybe the implications were, which hurts my soul a little bit. And you know, I can't wait. I can wait to get a character that's not Ultron level of power. Like, I don't have to be the 1006 person to get Dr. Doom if he's not going to be as impactful as Ultron was on my roster then, and to some extent is still now.
Yeah, I think Ultron is a much better character than Doom is, but we'll have to see how time plays out. I know. All right, and now it is time for the most fun, most exciting time of every news video, and that is when we have rumors. And today we have a visit from our brother from I don't know where he's at, but he is full of rumors, and let's hear what he has to say, and then I guess we'll react.
G'day, Valley Maniacs. Drew, the rumor guy here, and once again, I'm chock-a-block full of rumors of what's coming very soon in Marvel Strike Force. The next patch looks to be very huge. We've already discussed the name Bishop. Sources are telling me he is an astonishing Blitz release character. Also discuss White Tiger on your channel, and it looks like she is coming in the next update released via an event. And a brand new Lunar character rumored for the next patch. Word is this will be a milestone release character that Khonshu will be ecstatic about. And of course, the new legendary character in 3 city reworks. Yes, guys, let me know your guesses and your reactions in the comments. That is all I have today. I'm done like a dinner, but don't worry, I'll be back.
All right, Drew, lots of bombshells. Tony, what is your reaction to some of the things Drew said? That Bishop says a Blitz release character, White Tiger, looks like it's coming next update. I think there was some things that that character might have been pushed back, but it looks like next update. And he is saying his little brothers are telling him an event. And then a Lunar character. Who do you think this could be?
You know what? I can honestly tell you that my mind's blank about it. Like as blank as the night sky. Like gotcha. I couldn't think of a single Lunar character with like a defender possibility to be released as a potential milestone release like Red Guardian. I couldn't even in the world. I couldn't think of it. Like there's not a single like crescent throwing billionaire multi-personality person I can imagine that would come out next.
There must be someone out there that fits that bill though. So guys, if you know, let me know in the comments. What do you think is happening? Now you did say milestone release character like Red Guardian. I'm not sure if Drew was sure about the miles. He said milestone, but maybe it's like Emma, maybe it's like Red Guardian. We will have to see. So I guess that's another thing. We'll have to wait and see what was going to happen. But you guys could leave some more predictions on that in the comments down below, guys. Any other feedback? He mentioned 3 city reworks. Is your head leaning towards 3 particular characters in the city that would need reworks?
Let's see. I have a 7 red star night nurse.
Okay.
So I would appreciate it greatly if she did anything, not something, anything.
Anything.
And then, geez, Rick, I don't know. I don't know. I guess like Elektra's terrible. Any hand character.
Yeah,
but I already know the hand rework isn't coming anytime soon.
Oh,
so
that sucks.
Maybe Elektra though. She's not a hand character. She's like a defender-ish.
She is city. Yeah. On the TV show, she was kind of a sort of a defender, sort of a bad guy, sort of a good guy.
What about you? What do you think? What do you think when you hear that? Is there any one that comes to mind?
Well, character that you mentioned, Night Nurse, she was rumored to have a rework last year in an article. I think it was Game Informer that Jason Bender did, talking about a Black Widow rework and a Night Nurse rework. So that one would make sense. As far as the other two, though, I mean, most of City, except for the symbiotes, aren't that great. So I think all of them have a possibility, except for Punisher because he's already on military skill. But all the rest of them, I think have a possibility to get that rework. So,
there it is, the Luke Cage rework.
Luke Cage, baby.
His speed will go up by 2.
And he won't be able to bleed anymore. Tony, my friend, always fun, always a pleasure talking to you. Anything else that you want to discuss before we get out of here?
No, but just like every white dude in the world, I'm probably going to be starting a podcast soon, so I'll let you guys know more about it.
Nice. Well, you kind of are on a podcast right now because we do take the audio from this. Take the audio from this and it's a podcast version. So thank you everybody listening to the podcast version. If you are, leave a good review on whatever platform you are. And before you go, Tony, if there's anything you want to promote away and let everybody know where they can find you, my brother.
You can find me anywhere. Anywhere. / Tony Scungili, including but not limited to OnlyFans. And what's the other one? I don't remember.
I don't know. You're on so many platforms. You don't remember all the platforms you're on. I haven't been banned on
any platform yet, so I'm doing slightly better than some other people I know.
Nice. Well, links for anything you send me will be down below. So I know you're on a lot of social media, so I'll put it in whatever you send me down there. You guys can check out a lot of his different accounts there. And I will see you guys next time. Hopefully you enjoyed this edition of the weekly news update. We do this every single week, guys. So make sure you subscribe for all of that stuff. And I will see you guys next time. Check out some of my other videos before you go. And Tony, give me a Hulk fist bump, brother. There it is. ValleyFlyin and Tony out, baby.